The keeper of the mountain garden. There was once a quiet mountain garden, nestled high above the world, where the clouds whispered secrets only the wind could understand. No one quite knew who tended the garden. Some said the garden grew itself. Others whispered that an old soul, the keeper, had lived there for many seasons, tending to soil others had long forgotten, nurturing life where others saw only rock. This garden was strange. Flowers bloomed out of stone. Trees grew in impossible places. And somewhere in the heart of it, a single lantern flickered, always lit, even in the heaviest fog. They said the keeper had once walked through wild storms, lost entire seasons to frost, and been told more than once that the garden was dead. But somehow things kept growing, and not the way you'd expect. Roots went down, not out. Branches twisted inward first, as if seeking something within before daring to stretch toward the sky. Sometimes the keeper would plant a seed that wouldn't bloom for years. Sometimes the most brilliant things grew in the deepest shade. Sometimes the weeds came anyway, and yet the keeper kept tending. One day, a gust of wind carried a voice up the mountainside. A new arrival had come, a loud voice, demanding more blooms, bigger numbers, less wasted time. It had no patience for slow soil or sacred quiet. It counted leaves, but never noticed fragrance. The keeper simply nodded, listening not with ears, but with the wisdom that sees beyond the horizon, quietly preparing for a future others call foolish to imagine. The voice barked orders. The keeper watered a single fern, quiet, slow growing, never one to show off like the bright flowers that bloom and fade in a season. The voice took credit for blossom. The keeper pruned in silence, shaping what would outlast the moment. The voice demanded more. The keeper focused on roots, knowing real strength grows where eyes can't see. Because some things aren't meant to be seen, they're meant to be felt. And some gardens aren't grown for now, but for what's coming. In the stillness, something strange began to happen. The garden, though quieter, began to hum. The earth seemed to remember something older than achievement. And that lantern, the one tucked in the heart of the garden, glowed brighter. Not because it was safe, but because the dark had grown deeper. Visitors would sometimes stumble into the garden, tired, unsure, broken from their climb. The keeper would offer no answers, only space to remember what had been forgotten. You don't have to bloom to be worthy, the wind seemed to say. You don't have to race to be valuable, said the trees. You're not behind, you're just building something they can't yet measure, whispered the roots. And sometimes, when the night stretched long and the future felt impossibly far, the keeper would walk to the edge of the garden and gaze at the stars, not to wish, but to listen. Because when everything else is taken away, title, terrain, even the energy to try, the stars will remind you you were never meant to be just a role. You are the mountain. You are the garden. You are the keeper. And somewhere inside you, the map is already being drawn. The puzzle is already rearranging itself. Solutions are already forming in the soil, even before you know where they'll bloom. And as the unconscious listens, perhaps it's already wondering, what if hope isn't something you find, but something you grow, one quiet act at a time? And perhaps what makes the deepest difference isn't how tall something grows, but how long its roots hold after storms have passed.